historian.
Hey everyone, happy September. It's finally here and it's looking pretty much the way September should be. I got off work a little early and I'm walking through the campus again of the old Marshall High School. I said I wasn't going to do an update on this case until something happened, and nothing has happened. I'm of course talking about the case of this 30-year-old guy named Barack Rosen, who was found dead, shot to death, on the track by the football field here just past this fence. I walk by this old school all the time, and when this shooting happened, it was like the last week of the school year. And now it's September and the school year started up again. It's Labor Day, which is the main reason. It's a Monday and this place is completely empty. And like I said, nothing has changed, and that's what unfortunately kind of concerns me. It's been long enough now where this whole thing seems to be rapidly becoming a cold case. It's been about 2.5 months since this shooting happened. I still check periodically. Every time I look, the most recent update is from like early July. There's been just nothing, no updates, not even like a remersion into this thing. So, this thing is rapidly, I have a breeze coming behind me, so maybe I should be like this, walking backwards so the breeze isn't hitting my mic as much. But this thing's on its way to becoming a cold case. It doesn't seem like anything is changing. It's just, we're stuck. Again, obviously I don't know what the police know, but you have a case where the shooting was heard, you got no witnesses, you have a limited crime scene in that you essentially have a body, and that's about it, aside from a little bit of bullet damage, which you wouldn't even need that bullet damage to know that someone was shot here. So you don't have much of a crime scene to work with. You have a guy that nobody can think of any reason why he would get shot, especially get shot at several times. And yet, here we are, dealing with this case, wondering what the heck happened out here. And the problem is that it's secluded. You have Eastport Plaza, the mall, on this side of the fence. You got the school all through here. You've got some homes, but not many. And it doesn't matter because the football field and the track, all that is downhill. And it's nighttime. And it's not super likely that someone will be down here working out, that late. It's just a hard and strange case, and that's what really attracted me to it in terms of wanting to investigate it. Any kind of murder case attracts your attention, but this one, for some reason, because I started talking about this like within 24 to 48 hours of it happening, and based on what little information I knew then, it seemed to me like this was one of these cases that was destined to go completely unsolved, or to go unsolved for a very long time. And if it has to be one of those, hopefully it's the latter, obviously. Hopefully justice is achieved and a swift punishment follows for whoever did this. And why? I just don't get it. I'm trying to find additional things to say, and I don't know what to say. I was momentarily interested. There was another shooting that happened a week to 10 days later, I want to say. Back off this way, about 35 or so blocks from here. It didn't really match what happened, the shooting that happened here, but it was another shooting where a guy was apparently shot in his home, so, you know, pretty different. But it was another case where a guy got shot, someone fled the scene. It seemed to be a scenario where whoever did this was easily able to get away, and it sounded oddly suspicious, happening in the southeast, only like 30-35 blocks away. It was definitely got my attention, even though I was pretty quick to figure, there's probably not really a connection between the two, other than that one presumably also remains unsolved, and they both happen in southeast Portland. Yeah, you've got a guy, you know, I understand we should be judging books by their covers, but based on every picture I've been able to see of this guy that got shot, comparing just his appearance, the way he smiles, the way he carries himself, the way he holds himself, he almost looks like an introvert to me, and of course I'm an introvert too, so I can usually spot those kind of characteristics. And he has a very nice smile, a very intellectual look about him in some of the pictures. And based on how he looked to me, all things considered, combined with what his family and friends have said about him, because whenever somebody passes away in a way like this, the family's always going to talk about how great they are, whether that person was or wasn't. And in this case, it seems like what the family had to say about this guy, it makes sense based on the guy's appearance, the way he carried himself, so on and so forth. So I really don't know what to say anymore. I really wish something would happen. This person would slip up. I certainly don't want another murder to happen for this thing to be resolved, but this crime doesn't scream like serial offender to me. If it is, it would genuinely surprise me. That's just my take on it. This seems like, if I had to try to guess and narrow it down, this guy got mixed up with the wrong person or the wrong people. Whether he thought he knew what he was getting into, or he did know what he was getting into, and that went south. I know some people have hypothesized that, even though nobody can really say, you know, this guy didn't live here that long. But he also lived in an area that's rampant with, I mean, not excessive crime, but there's a lot of druggies, there's a lot of crime in this area. And sometimes you can get mixed up in that, whether you intend to or not. Now, again, I don't really know if I buy that was what happened, but, you know, I'd buy this guy got mixed up with someone who had ulterior motives, whether that person was a friend or somebody he was working with, what have you. I buy that a lot more than some of the other ideas that are being peddled forth. And beyond that, I'd buy that idea, or, you know, it's hard to say, but you can't throw out any theories, especially when you don't know what the resolution is. And you can't pass up the potential that this was a random killing. I know we hate that term, but it has to be considered in this case. You know? I don't know what that would necessarily entail. You know, could it have been as simple as, you know, this guy's standing out in front of his place, someone sees him and fires at him, he runs away, they chase him and shoot him? I don't know. I'm really just spitballing right here because nobody's got an answer. And there's been nothing. There's not even a callback. I know there's a lot of other cases that are cold cases that have been cold a lot longer than this one, but it just surprises me that since, you know, pretty much for the last 2 months, everyone has gone dead silent on this case. It's not even periodically brought back up, and that usually happens with cases like this. So I don't know, maybe it has and I've missed something, but like, you know, usually if it gets mentioned on the news, they'll post something about it online. So when you search, you know, recent things about such and such, it'll pop up. If they did a follow-up story like August 17th, 2 months later, saying, oh, you know, it's been 2 months and this case still hasn't been solved, you would search this and you would see an August 17th, 2018 dated link to that news channel's website, and you'd be able to find that. But yeah, I really haven't seen, I think the oldest link I've seen was July 19th. And that's still a month and a half ago, and since then it has been total, as it seems, radio silence on this case. So in honesty, I've put this much thought into it. I'm trying to keep this thing alive is all. So I just thought I'd delve back into it briefly, and I'm gonna keep looking it up online, and here's to hoping some new article pops up soon with a resolution to this case. I'll see you guys later.